Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker podcast brought to you by Goose Creek Retrievers. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world fucking famous Andy Shaver.
You knew it was coming, Matt.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming.
You knew it was coming.
You're the only person that brags about being famous.
Yeah, it's clearly always me, isn't it, Matt? It's always me.
After the comment you made about your wife, I'm not going to ever let you live it down. Your kids going around bragging to school that you're famous?
No.
Yes. Somehow they're hearing that shit at home. You know, that's not just something the average kid hears about is, well, my daddy's famous.
If he listens to like the one part of the podcast that's acceptable for him to hear, that's what he hears from you.
You should be embarrassed. Our guest today is the owner of Goose Creek Retrievers. Now, I know you're on the East Coast. Are you in Maryland, Matt?
Yes, sir. The Eastern Shore.
The Eastern Shore, Mr. Matt Peel. Eastern Shore is one of the prettiest places in the United States of America.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Beautiful place. Old plantation homes.
Yeah, we just don't have much terrain. Anywhere I go that's got even a remote-looking hill or anything like that, I think that's the coolest thing in the world because everything here is just flat as a pancake.
Well, it's beautiful, beautiful stuff. Now, you're good friends with Mr. Stoner, right?
I am. Yep, that's my buddy.
How'd you meet Josh?
Man, I really don't know how we met. Actually, I do. We met through a mutual friend of ours, Mark Helios.
Okay.
He introduced the two of us.
Josh is a classy dude, man. I'll tell you right now.
He definitely is. He definitely is.
He had to go pick up something of yours in like Tennessee or some shit, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah. He rode. He took my truck and went and picked up my new dog trailer in Tennessee, and brought it back in like 22 hours.
He's a driving son of a bitch.
Yeah, one night.
Literally, when I bought it, I just bought it, and then I called him and I was like, "Hey, man, you want to drive and go pick something up for me?" "Oh, yeah, where is it?" I was like, "Well, it's Tennessee." "Oh, yeah, I'll do that. No problem." Never thought twice about it.
He's one night I talked to him. It was this year when he was leaving Blake's.
Yeah.
And I thought he come down here and went to the football draft, and then he went to Nebraska, and then he helped Blake pick corn, and then he was going to come back down here, and he was going to be here like on Thursday. It's like Sunday night. I go, "What are you doing?" He said, "Oh, I just left Blake's." I said, "Oh, you coming down early?" "No, I'm going to go home." I'm like, "You're going to drive all the way to fucking Maryland and back to Texas in like 3-day time?" And he did.
That was like Christmas time or something.
No,
wasn't it?
this was before season started this year. But he's done that a lot of times. Like at Christmas this year, we had like 5 or 6 days off. And I was like, "Are you going to go home?" I just don't know. And he waited around to get airplane tickets because I may drive home. I thought, drive? Hell, that's
2 days of your 5-day break is going to be on the road.
Yeah, man. He loves it for whatever
But
reason.
he is a super cool dude. So
He's driving down. He's going to come. I think he's going to come turkey hunting here in another 10 or 12 days. So like, shit, he's got another road trip in him, and then he's up to Blake's for. I guess he's going to be a Nebraska resident before too long.
Josh is coming down here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I might be buying some decoys off of a guy on the East Coast, and so I might have him pick them up, like some old gunner decoys.
You better get it. You better get it figured out soon because
I will do that. That may save me a bunch of shipping costs. Hey, Matt, let's talk about dogs. Now, I was raised around the dog business, so God bless you for that. That is like owning a dairy to me. It takes a real special person to train other people's dogs and enjoy the dogs because you work 7 days a week.
Yeah, no days off, man. Not a single day off in the past like 7 years.
But you have something that really interests me was your starter program with the puppies. What do you look for when you go to when someone's going to buy a puppy? And I know a lot of the hybrid dogs they're sold before they ever hit the ground. And
yep.
But if you buy the first dog and you get the pick of the litter, what should they be looking for?
Man, I really, I don't really look into the picks that much. I buy the breeding I want. I got a little puppy. She's on her way from Texas to me right now. She'll be up here tomorrow. I'm down at a buddy's house in Virginia, but she'll be up here, I think, tomorrow or the next day. And I bought the breeding. Never seen the dog. And you don't want the one that's hiding in the corner that's scared of everything, because then you're going to have a problem on your hands. But with well-bred dogs, which is what everybody should be buying, well-bred, health-tested, everything dogs, I buy the breedings. I buy what I like on paper and do my due diligence looking into, specific bloodlines and go from there.
So do you look at the overall health of the line, or do you look at the accomplishments of the line, or do you kind of combine everything?
Yes, all of the above. Yeah. Hips, all the genetic testing that we, put them through, and then the accomplishments of everything all the way back.
Are you buying field trial? I don't know much about the dogs anymore. I used to know a lot because I was around it a bunch, but back in the day, field trial dogs was the big bloodline.
That's what I like. I prefer really high drive dogs. Like I tell people I want a dog. If he doesn't want to do it as much as I want to do it, he and I aren't going to get along. Mm-hmm. And there's some people that like a more laid back dog. And, the common misconception about these hybrid dogs is they can't turn it off. And there's 5 dogs in this house right now and you don't know they're in here.
Yeah.
They can turn it off. I just like the ones that love to work. And you typically get that with the field trial lines.
What is the back in the day, the True Mark dogs were the big field trial dogs, the bloodlines. That's so far back. Is that still a bloodline?
You see them dogs every once in a while come back through a pedigree. That's kind of been we were just talking about it yesterday. Actually, we were training. What they call old blood is that's kind of getting to be a new thing. Like people are trying to bring back some old blood, and that would be what I would consider old blood.
How much fucking research do you have to do to find old blood, like a line from way back? You gotta
there's dogs, there's frozen semen that's stored all across the country.
Oh, really?
You just got to find somebody who owns it and see if they're coming off of it.
Your dog's got True Mark blood in it, Andy.
Well, Rip and Blue Thunder.
Yeah, well, Rip and Blue Thunder was part of that.
True Mark?
I think it was a True Mark dog.
I'd have to go back and listen to...
The encyclopedia died last summer, so we've lost a lot of that. But
I got to go back and listen to some of those episodes and just pray that he mentioned it.
That's what I wonder, because I didn't know if people went to field trial. Now, is there a separate, like a master hunter bloodline that people follow also? Is it kind of?
I mean, yeah. There's like the hunt test dogs are sought after just as much. It's kind of 6 1, half dozen the other. But I just prefer the trial dogs just because you tend to get a little bit more out of them. Personally,
I ran a dog in the first master hunter test they ever had.
Really?
In Wichita, outside of Wichita, Kansas, a little town called Derby, Kansas, and shit, I don't even know what year it was.
How'd you do?
I placed it. Well, master hunter test, they don't have a first, second, or third. It's just a pass fail, isn't it?
Yeah, you're competing against a standard.
Yeah.
So in a trial, you're competing against every dog there. In a hunt test, whether it's HRC or AKC, you're competing against not competing against, but you're competing against what that specific organization says that dog should be able to do at that level.
It was an AKC one is what it was, but it was the first one they ever had.
Did you pass?
Yes, and I can't remember even what dog. I think it was Piper. It was one of Dad's dogs, field trial dogs. But I ran it. Dad took like 6 dogs there, and all 6 of them finished. It was a whole completely different type situation than the field trial dogs are. Field trials was a bunch of rich snobs and a bunch of people looking down on everybody that are spending a shitload of money on dogs. The hunting test was more of the regular guy that there was a lot of families there that had little Fifi out there, family dog from the starter to what is it called? The first part of hunting. It's a master hunter, and then what are the intermediate and something else?
Junior, senior, and master.
Junior, okay, yeah, junior and
then
senior.
In the HRC, it started, seasoned, and finished.
But it was an interesting deal. It was a lot different than a field trial. And I could see where it was going to be a big success because it incorporated the regular person a lot more than the field trial does. Which at that time,
for sure,
it was all the field trial circuit was dominated by pros. Mm-hmm. There are very few amateurs that could compete at that level.
There's a really, really a lot of well-versed accomplished amateurs now in the field trial world. Very much so, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's I mean, I guess there's still a huge pro base in both hunt tests and field trials, but there are some amateurs that are just as good as a lot of pros, if not better.
How is that? I mean, what's brought that on?
I guess just people like to play the game.
Really?
It's become a sport more than it has become a hunting thing. It's more of a sport now. Like, you got people that you get the master title in, let's say, 6 passes, and then they'll run the dog 50 more times.
Mm-hmm.
Just to collect more passes and whatnot. It's become more of a like a sport. It's a every weekend, everybody's out there. My clients come out and hang out at the test with us, and camaraderie kind of deal. It's a good time.
They're coming out to watch their dog compete.
Yeah, yep. Or the other dogs. Like, I had clients there this past weekend that didn't have a dog in the test, but just came and spent the day with us.
The hunting test is better at that because it's not a cutthroat situation. Where field trials,
yeah, sure.
There's 3 freaking ribbons, and you get a point for a ribbon. And it used to be very, very cutthroat in the field trial game, and I bet it still is.
Well, I mean, everybody wants to win. That's
Yes.
that's the American way. Everybody wants to be the best, the biggest, the fastest. And I mean, it's no different with that, really.
Sounds a little bit like it's kind of reaching a level of like horse races almost. People coming out to see their stud.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you could say that. Maybe not to that level.
Right. But I mean, it's kind of,
for sure.
It doesn't sound like it's just a bunch of good old boys or trainers out there anymore working their dog. It sounds like it's starting to create a crowd around it.
You'll see little kids and the whole family out there.
Is this at a field trial or a hunting test?
Hunt test.
Yeah. At field trials back in the day, you'd pull up there and there'd be people pulled up in Jaguars and high-dollar shit, and it was like, get out and bring all their yuppie friends from Dallas to look at the dog they're spending. Back then, if you were paying $2,000 a month for boarding and training and with a pro retriever, that was a ton of money. I mean,
yeah.
And when those people would show up, there would be a lot, it was pretty fancy shit. But it was completely different. That's why I liked the hunting test. The hunting test incorporated more of the regular people.
Yep.
Boy, I got a fucking outfit for next year, Jeff. You just wait until you see
an
it.
Outfit.
Oh, I'm gonna look sporty.
Oh God.
Talking about that. I'm gonna look sporty, Matt.
What are you gonna wear,
Jeff? You'll see next year.
Andy would have made a good field trial latcher. Someone just wants to hang around all the time and act like he's in the game. What kind of entries when you go to master hunting test? What kind of dog? What are the dog numbers there?
The AKC just upped it. Now it's honestly, it's even confusing for me. It's going to like 66 in some. Hey, Connor. Never mind. The numbers are like, they're odd numbers now. It used to be like 60, 90, 120, and now they've rolled a couple extra numbers in there, so it's like 60. The one we're in this weekend is 266 dog masters, and then it kind of goes from there. And I think they did that because there was so many pros entering dogs. They gave more spots for amateurs to be able to enter their dogs.
66 dogs entered in a master test.
Yeah.
How long did that take?
2 days.
I went to a trial one time when it was open, and there was like 107 dogs involved or some shit. And they started on Friday morning. I think they got done Sunday afternoon for the 107 dogs, which field trial test takes so damn long for the damn, one series.
Well, every dog got like a 20-minute run or something
it's
like
horrible.
That. So, and that's why they whittle down so fast. They'll cut. There was 107 dogs in there, they'd probably cut it in half after the first series.
Yeah. And that's still a shitload of dogs. That's what I liked about Masters, too. It don't take as long.
Oh, it takes plenty long. It takes plenty long.
You get your feel of it.
Especially if you guys like us we'll have a couple junior dogs, a couple dogs in senior, a couple dogs in master. So you're bouncing the whole time. There's not like putting your feet up and taking a break. You're kind of all across the property the whole weekend.
So you've got different people running different dogs?
No, I run all the dogs.
So you are bouncing everywhere. So
Yeah.
it's not like Jeff where they had 6 dogs and he took 1 or 2 and Ron took 1 or 2.
No, whoa, hold on. I ran 1 dog just because it was a hunting test one time. I didn't run no dogs in no field trials. Dad would run whatever he took. He did. That was normal. There'd be somebody like Matt, Jim Swan would have 15, 16 dogs probably at a field trial.
Can you tell, like, okay, this is going to be a good day for this dog?
Yeah.
As soon as they get off the truck.
Sometimes they get off the truck and you're like, well, I'm going to put this motherfucker back because this is going to go south.
In a hurry.
And it does. You can tell. I got a dog right now that was running at a very, very nice, I guess, impressive level. And I had a bunch of females in the kennel come and heat all at the same time. And that dog, he might know his name right now. He might know his name. I don't know. Yeah. So, and he's running this weekend, so we'll roll the dice. I mean, he's either going to do it or he's not, I guess. And, he's only got 2 options, pass or fail.
It's frustrating when you got a dog that can do it all and he fucks you every time on just doing something just stupid.
Oh, man. He's such a nice dog. Like, he's never, like, some of them will fuck you just because they like to and they know better and they're just going to do it. And this dog was up until, like, 2 weeks ago. I mean, he was a machine. And the ladies are driving him nuts. And he is, I mean, I probably should have left him home. Honestly.
So what is he doing? Like, you can just tell, like, his attention is elsewhere?
Fuck. Like, it's a master dog that probably couldn't pass a easy senior test.
What's a master dog? What's a 2-year-old master titled dog? What do they call it running these days?
God, man, it depends on the dog, the pedigree, where you are, who it was with. That's such a broad number that I don't even know that I could give you something fair.
It all just depends on what.
Because honestly, like you could have a dog with somebody and it'd be worth more than the same kind of caliber dog with somebody else just because of who it was with.
So if someone wanted to get into that game and buy a master title dog, we looking at $5 to $10,000?
Shit, no. Between 10 and 15 probably.
Whew. That's a lot of money for a fucking dog.
I mean, unless there's you could get like a washout, like a field trial washout, and they're going to be a lot cheaper. Like maybe $7,500 or so, because they couldn't win in the trials. They'll go do anything else you want them to do ever in history, but they just wouldn't place in a trial. So they'll unload them to put the money into another dog.
And there's a lot of damn good dogs that haven't placed in field trials that have open that can run, do everything, but they just not like anything else. But god dang it. But I've always told everyone, if you want to buy a started dog, find you a washed out field trial dog that made it to the opens, because they're trained to do everything. That's nuts.
Yeah, and just because they couldn't place an open, that dog will know more than you can do with him.
Yep, and a long way off. So tell us about your puppy program that you have.
I don't take a ton of puppies. I kind of take 1 or 2 at a time. Try to be 1 at a time. And just it's just based around setting them up for success and teaching them how to learn. And that's one of the biggest things that I think people fail a young dog at. They don't teach the dog how to learn. Everything that we're going to do with that dog in the future is going to be revolving around like cost and benefit, risk and reward, pressure on, pressure off. I do this and I'm rewarded. I do this and there's a negative consequence. And you can teach that with a puppy with a treat. I don't do this, I don't get the treat. That's a negative consequence. I did it, I got the treat. And, people want to take that puppy and throw like 1,000. I just made a Facebook post about it like yesterday or the day before. People will throw 1,000 bumpers for a puppy and they won't teach it to come back. They won't teach it to sit. Little stuff like that. And I don't mean like competitive level obedience that the dog needs to know, but they have no semblance of. I've got a dog right now that doesn't know her name.
Really?
But she'll retrieve her ass off.
How old is she?
I've had her like 3 days, and the guy told me, man, she loves to retrieve. She's 6 months old. She'll probably run a 200-yard single, like it's nothing, she won't come back when you call her.
How does that?
So you know what I mean? Like, is it really? It's not a retriever if it doesn't come back to you.
Maybe she's deaf.
How do you? I mean, that's.
How do you teach her name?
Well, no, I mean it's such like a. It's such. I'm thinking back to my days with Lou. Like that wasn't. He knew his name and like he would come to me. So like I don't. And that's such a rudimentary thing that I don't even know how you would.
Yeah,
fix
I mean,
it.
like put some of his food in your pocket, and when you're walking outside, calling back to you, you know, Lou, here, good boy, and give him a piece of food, and then in like 3 days, he is proficient at coming back because he thinks he's getting a treat. It's pretty simple, and like people want to see him retrieve, and like I said, I'm not saying beat him to death with obedience, you know, because that's going to get boring, but just a rudimentary sit here kennel. And then 2 or 3 retrieves a day. And that's also where people fail these dogs. It's like when they're puppies, literally 2 or 3. And grown men don't know how to count to 3, apparently. Because they'll be like, I did it for 45 minutes and he wouldn't quit. Well, now he's out of control. Perfect. That's
always
great.
put them up when they're eager to want to do more.
Absolutely.
And end on a high note.
Now, in all fairness to Lou, though, Lou's problem would be he didn't know if his name was Lou or you hard-headed motherfucker or get the fuck over here or whatever his name was.
Oh, yeah. I got a few of them, too.
It was with Ron.
You son of a bitch is my favorite.
There was a lot of.
You get over here, you son of a bitch.
There was a lot of goddamn it Lou's. No good. Common motherfucker is what he would call them also. You common motherfucker.
Hey, I call him a talentless motherfucker. That's my, you talentless motherfucker, get over here.
But then when the clients come up, they're like, oh, it's a great dog.
Oh, yeah, he's been wonderful. Yeah.
But I can remember. He'd fuck up. You common motherfucker, get over here. Well, shit.
I never knew of a person who his dog didn't know his name.
No.
That's crazy.
I mean,
crazy.
you figure 6-month-old dog, I'm sure she knows her name, but she doesn't respond to it. You know, unless you have her like on a short leash, like she'll look at you when you say it. But if she's off of a leash out in the yard, she's not coming back. She doesn't even pay you say her name, and she doesn't even look at you.
Ollie's like that
because she never learned it. She never learned that like coming back was going to be a reward. If you got a bumper in your hand, she'll do anything in the world for you.
Jeff, you've screwed up with Ollie. That's what Ollie does. Ollie dicks around out here in the yard. If Jeff lets him out, he'll go down to the fucking kennels where the other dogs are. He'll go to the dead pile. He'll go to where we dump food. Anywhere but where Jeff is. But when he says, hey, you want a biscuit?
That motherfucker's
Ollie
on point.
Is at his fucking toes looking at him.
But
prettiest sit you'll ever see.
I have learned that I've got a little Red Ranger BB gun, and I can pull that out, and he thinks I'm going to shoot him in the ass with it from way off. And so if I pull that gun out, he comes back in. And if I use my phone and I pick my phone up like it's a remote, a shot collar remote, that fucker will cow down real fast. He don't even have the collar on him, but just me picking up that phone and showing it to him, he thinks I'm going to shock his ass. And so,
well, see, he's collar-wise.
Yeah, he's fucking smartest dog I've ever had. He is.
Yeah, you told me about that the other night on
the
that's him.
Smart as hell. Only dog we've got. He's our empty nest dog, but he runs the house and everything. But he is really, really, really smart. But he's smart enough to get out of shit. But that BB gun, he's scared to death of that son of a bitch.
I mean, would you be?
I've been, yeah.
I think it's justified.
Yeah. I grew up as a kid. I've been shot with one. I wouldn't shoot him with something I haven't been shot with before. It teaches him a lesson. I haven't ever had.
Is there like a yardage that you try to stay outside
I don't shoot him at like 10 yards or nothing, or 20. A BB gun at 30 yards is not going to do that much. Just a little ping him a little bit.
Pop.
Just get his attention.
Yeah, I'm not going to hurt him. I don't want to hurt him. If I hurt him, then I got to pay to get him fixed. And most times I don't even shoot him. I'll just shoot him around, something around him that'll make a little bit of noise, and that gets his attention. But I have popped him on his ass with it before. But I've shot my brother.
I'm gonna have to see this one.
You're gonna what?
I'm gonna have to see this one.
It works perfect. I pull that damn BB gun up, and he comes running right back up. See, his problem.
You hear it when he hears the pellet shaking it or something?
No, it's not a pellet gun. It's just a one cock deal. The old red right. It's not like that.
Yeah,
when
like
he hears the
little BBs.
Oh yeah, he knows. Oh yeah, you pick that son of a bitch up, he fucking cows down. He knows. And I don't think he's been shot, but maybe 2 or 3 times with it. But I'll shoot around him sometimes just to make a noise, and he'll come running in.
You're gonna get that dog taken away from you. what's going to end up happening.
Peter'd be all over.
Somebody's going to come get that motherfucker.
Peter can come right out the side of our gate and they can march all the fucking one. I don't give two shits.
They can get it. They can get it too.
Yep, they can cancel my ass. I don't care. So, Matt, let me ask you this: training a dog to be housebroke, you do that, right?
Oh God, yeah. Unfortunately,
the last dog we had, we didn't have a problem. We kennel trained him.
Sure.
He'd get out of the bathroom, kennel, go outside, go to the bathroom first thing, then you then run around. I don't think Ollie's ever went to the bathroom in the house to take a dump. Thank God, because Michelle would have got rid of him for sure. What's the key to it? What do you?
Consistency. Teaching them that outside is where they go. We litter box train all our puppies before they go home. And we use like wood pellets that you use for like a pellet stove in your house. And then by the time them puppies go home, I'll give the people a bag, like a Ziploc bag of that, and put this in your yard where you want him to go to the bathroom. And in like 2 days of you taking him to that spot every time you take him out, he'll go to the door and wait. And you open the door and he'll run right over to that spot. And then the pellets will just dissolve into your yard after they get wet.
That's a damn good idea.
Yeah, but consistency. Don't never leave puppies unattended.
That's no shit.
Just for every reason other than the bathroom too. If he's quiet, something's
not
up.
Good. Yeah.
But yeah, so just honestly, consistency. That's the biggest thing. Is just keeping a good routine schedule. Like if you get up, I'm super routine. I get up every morning between like 4 and 5, like clockwork. Take the puppy out, go to the bathroom, back in the kennel, have breakfast, back out 5 minutes after he eats. Just whatever routine that you're going to have, stick to it, and they'll fall right into it in literally 2 or 3 days.
They're very structured. It's funny because I mean, when you start to deviate from that structure, like I know, during hunting season, I'm up at 3:30, so Lou's up at 3:30, and then as we transition into the off season, now all of a sudden I'm not up until 6 or 6:30, and then like Lou's like, what the fuck are we doing? Like we're 4 hours late, buddy.
In the house and everything.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, dogs love. Actually, dogs don't like to be in control. They like to have that pack mentality of like, hey, that's my leader. We do the same thing every day, and they love it. And that's how I like to live. I like to do very consistent things, so it works for the dogs. And they know, like, if we're home and we're not on the road, and it's like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I haven't fed them, they're all letting me know about it because they're so used to getting fed at that same exact time that they get pretty upset about when I'm late. And they're just used to that kind of routine. They're used to getting up at every time at the same time in the morning. That's how I'm able to. I keep my kennels really, really clean. I very rarely have to spray out kennels because I'm up the same time every day, and they're so used to. Dogs don't want to mess in their kennel if they don't have to. So if you keep them on that routine, even as a big dog, it's super simple to keep them clean, if you will. Just by having a little bit of a routine.
I built a nice fucking kennel in my backyard. Nice concrete slab, fenced it in, beautiful. It's under a shade tree. And I was thinking, like, okay, so if we ever needed to go out of town, I could just put Lou in there. I could have somebody come over, give him some water and some food, and when I got back, I would just clean out the kennel. The motherfucker would not go to the bathroom. Two days in there, and they're like, he's not gone, and he's like freaking out to get out of here. So like the kennel, he stayed in there maybe twice. He barked all night long, so my neighbors were pissed at me. He wouldn't go into the bathroom, so somebody was having to come over 2-3 times a day to let him out. It's like, motherfucker, I paid all this money to get this so that I wouldn't have to bother people when I'm out of town. So now it's just, it sits there. It's no good. Waste of money.
Well, I mean, honestly, so I have this thing that I believe the dogs that are clean in kennels like that are intelligent dogs. Dogs that are nasty in a kennel and just, man, I've seen some dogs that could care less. They would mess and lay right down into it. And they're never good in the field.
Really?
They're like, it's a consistent thing. If they're smart enough to know that I don't want to sit in my own mess, they're usually pretty good dogs in the field.
That makes sense.
And It goes hand in hand.
Now, I will tell you this. I made the thing big because I was thinking, he can I didn't put it to where.
Go in the corner. And,
I made it big enough to where he wouldn't have to lay in his shit or piss, but it was a waste of a couple grand is all that it turned out to be.
I put him in there sometimes when I have to watch him. I haven't in a long time, but I used to.
And the guy that built it, we put a crossbar that's so it's probably like nose high. No, it's about forehead high. But if you're not looking for it, it'll fucking clock you. It about knocked me to my knees one day. I put big flagging tape over it. It knocked Ron out one day. He told me about it. I felt bad for that because it's just square tubing. So it's like just rusted color square tubing, and I've got a fence behind it in the tree. That fucking crossbar
so
you
don't
can't
see.
see. You're just walking full speed, kind of looking because you open the gate and you're looking down, and a couple times.
Matt, have you ever used the old match trick on the dogs to make them go to the bathroom?
No, but I have heard about it. The bent match trick.
My dad was an old school. He did that with the puppies all the time, and he used the word high on, which somebody told Dad one time in Indian, like Native American, like.
I thought it was English.
No, it was Indian. From the Indian,
Ireland.
like the Cherokee Indians or something. It meant take a shit. So he would put a match in a dog's ass and he'd say hi on to him. Like he thought the dog knew Native American, I guess, already. But it makes them go to the bathroom.
I can look it up.
I had a dog. The reason I know about that, I had a dog that every test that she would run, you could air her for a day. And this first bird she picked up, she would run out, snatch it up, be coming back. About halfway back, she'd spit it out, turn around and shit on it.
Oh, God.
And she would never do it in training, ever. And so you can't correct it if they won't do it, right? But she'd do it at a test. And this older guy that trains, he was telling me about it. And that was probably a year before I heard Ron talk about it on the podcast. I'm like, well, fuck, that's got to work. I've never used it because I just, me and the dogs are close. We're just not that close yet.
But he don't do it to the older dogs, but to the puppies.
Yeah.
When he's teaching them to go to the bathroom outside, he would take them outside, put a match in their ass, they'd take a shit, and they could go back in the house.
I got you. If whatever works, I guess.
It works.
He didn't want to stand around and wait was his big deal. So.
Yeah.
I usually go with the old go potty, and about 30 seconds in, they'll start going.
No.
That's another thing. Talking about potty training puppies, if that high on or whatever he was saying, it doesn't. The words don't matter. You could say purple. If you do it every time they're doing it, they'll just start doing that. Every time our young dogs go to the bathroom, I take them out to like where I want them to go, and I'll say go potty once or twice. And then once they start going, immediately, good, go potty, good, go potty, good, go potty. And then you get dogs that you get off the truck later at a test you're trying to train, go potty, and they'll literally just stop and piss because they've been programmed to hear that every time, and then they'll just do it naturally.
Isn't that funny that we use words like go potty for these fucking animals? They
don't have a fucking idea what we're talking about.
Lou is he's this giant dog, and clients will always kind of give me shit, and I'm like, all right, bud, go potty. And they're like, the fuck is he? Is he a 2-year-old? Like, who are you talking to over here? Like, look at the guy. Like, tell him to go take a shit or something. Don't tell him to go potty. I'm like, well,
you go shoving a match up his ass, they really think something's wrong with you.
It's the word that word that we.
I'd probably do that when in your fenced-in backyard. I wouldn't be doing that. Walk down the street. Hold still, Fluffy.
Yeah.
you just turn them up over on their head and flip that tail up and.
I've seen Dad.
In she goes.
I've seen Dad do it to so many fucking dogs, and people look at him the first time they come pick up a puppy or something, and they've got a damn match shoved up the dog's ass. They're like, "What's this guy doing to this dog?"
And I'll never forget the first time I asked him, like, because he'd always put the sulfur end in, and I'm like, "Is it the the sulfur? The sulfur end. You don't want to get a splinter in your dog's ass." So I said, like. Okay. Is it the sulfur that makes them do it, or why do you put that in?
I would imagine it's just having something.
That's what he
asshole.
said. That was the reason. He's like, well, would you want something in your asshole? You'd probably try to push it out, wouldn't you? Sound like
the guy that told me about it said to take like a matchbook match and bend it in half, and then put that in there, and it, I guess less splinters because it's cardboard. I don't know. I have never tried it. I got
Ron like the splinter kind. It's a little bit firmer and it won't bend on you. And you might not get it might not bend and then you get your finger in its asshole because that would just be weird. We try to keep it not weird.
Sure. Sure.
Oh,
I agree. I don't want my dog to stick my finger in a
You're
dog's
laughing
asshole.
at this. Somebody that's going to listen to this podcast is going to go home and put a match in their dog's ass to see if it works.
Guaranteed.
Now, okay,
Guaranteed.
so if that's going to happen, disclaimer, don't do it if your dog's already housebroken. Like, if you've got the dog doing what you want to do, this step is irrelevant.
Oh, there's some experimenter out
And
there.
don't do it. Don't tell anybody you did it because Matt Peel said so.
No. This is not Matt Peel approved. This is Big Honker.
There is some experimenter out there, though, that's going to go show his wife. You want to see something cool? Watch this.
He'll
Watch
Grab
this shit.
shit on command.
Grab Buck over there and grab some matches and meet me in the backyard. They're like, are we going to set the dog on fire? No, we're just going to make him shit.
But that housebreaking scene is the worst part of having a dog.
Agreed.
And
100%.
I don't know how you do it.
That's why I try to not take a bunch of them. It's usually a one and done. I got one coming, but it's a little bit older. Be like 4 months old, so kind of started potty training and everything.
See, I think that would be harder.
In a couple of weeks.
I think that would be harder, having a 4-month-old and trying to start from scratch.
No, I mean they've already started with the dog,
okay.
just on a very basic level. I have, with my puppy program stuff, I have really been trying to get away from just taking an 8-week-old puppy for a couple reasons. One, I want him to go home and bond with you, and I'll be just blatantly honest. It's easier for you to spend money on something that you fell in love with than it is for you to spend money on something that just has been living with me. And because those first few nights, you deal with it.
Well, that's
I
no
don't have
shit.
to. I used to, man, I would take them, whenever you wanted to give them to me at 8 weeks old. And it's not bad because I like doing it. But it wears on you after
And
a while.
fucking dogs those first
Especially
nights
Terrible.
in that kennel, whining all fucking night long. Oh.
If you have an enclosed garage, I highly recommend it.
It's so sad too. Like it is the most
they're miserable.
pitiful
Yeah.
cry that you've ever heard
Yep.
in your entire life. He just got ripped away from everything that he knows.
Well, and that's the thing. Like the first few days, I tell people try not to get on them too bad for barking like that, because they're literally like they've been alive on this earth for 8 weeks. Like that's how long they've been here. They don't know anything else. All they have known is their mom, the breeder that was taking care of them, and their siblings. And now every ounce of that is gone. So the first few days, you just kind of got to grin and bear it. Now after that, when we kind of have a little routine going, I'm gonna need you to be quiet. But unless you got to go to the bathroom, please tell me about it. But other than that,
So how do you differentiate between the missing mom and my litter mate's cry and hey, no, like I got to get out of this kennel and go to the bathroom?
you can tell if you fool with them long enough. Because like really, really smart pups, like they'll almost. I've had puppies that like you're like, holy shit, did they get their toes hung up in the crate or something like that? Because they like squeal like they're being drowned. Because they don't want to go to the bathroom there. There's the board. Oh, somebody will just come save me, and then there's like the no, fuck you, come get me. I'm gonna shit. You know what I mean? And now, granted, when you hear that, you might want to double time it across the living room to get over there, but. They really usually most of them are pretty good about telling you. You can kind of tell if they're just pissed off because they're in there, or they're like, no, I've really got to go.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, because I can remember switching foods when Lou was when we first got him. He was on whatever Ron was feeding him, and I kind of fed him something differently. So I was always worried that might kind of fuck with his stomach as a young puppy. So I was doing it in increments, but luckily, like Jeff said with Ollie, I don't really. He had a couple accidents, but for the most part, like we got to it in time.
Well, other than the wedding.
Yeah.
Well, he was sick though. I mean, he fucking explosive.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say I've heard a podcast about him shitting all over your house. Like, the whole
Twice.
House. The roof, everything.
Twice he did. So one time it was Father's Day last year. That's how I got to wake up to Father's Day. We were cooking something, and like we had some leftover chicken, and I just gave it to him because I felt bad. He was locking him up, and I guess that chicken was sour because I woke up the next day and there was liquid shit all over my fucking living room, and like little Hershey's Kisses was the only thing that was solid. Let's clean that up, and then from the wedding, Zach's wedding, I don't know what it was because he didn't eat anything strange is what's weird about that. I didn't give him he had no human food of any kind. It was just what he eats. And me being drunk and coming home and having to smell that, not a good situation.
Andy doesn't know this, but last weekend, Reese was telling me about this story. Mm-hmm. He said, yeah, my daddy got drunk one night. I go, really? He goes, yeah. He said, and Lou crapped all over the house or pooped all over the house. I go, he goes, at Zach's wedding.
That's
the things that they pick up on. I didn't even think he was awake for that. I don't know how.
He told me all about it. It was after Zach's wedding. Lou pooped all over the house, and
Daddy
was drunk.
Maybe he's just heard about it. I did. I puked all over.
And Daddy was drunk.
Oh, it was great.
I puked all over the front yard.
Childhood memories.
Yeah.
And Daddy was drunk, and the dog shit everywhere.
When he gets to be 40 years old, he'll be telling that story. Yeah, we one time went to my Uncle Zach's wedding and come home and the dog shit all over the house, and Daddy was drunk and throwing up everywhere, and Mom was not too impressed.
But can you imagine, like, I've got the best friend in the world because he got home before us, and he was trying to clean it up so that my wife wouldn't see it.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah, I would not do that, I promise you. I would sit outside.
I would be sitting on the front porch and being like, you got a mess in there to clean up.
Man, I got a select few group of guys that I would do that for, but not many.
Mm-mm.
I have nobody I would do that for. I'm not cleaning up shit that'd make me sick. There's no way.
But he knew that Lou and my wife are not on the best terms, so he was like, I'll clean this up before they get home. Nobody will ever know. How he thought he was going to get that smell out of there in time, I don't know. Because the next day, Blake woke up hungover on the ground, and there's fucking tobacco all over my floor now. And he's like, oh, shit. Lou took a crap all over this floor last night, and I'm laying in it. I wish we could have had a camera that night because it was just a bunch of drunkos, except for my poor wife. She had to stay sober and cleaning up dog shit.
I got a question for you, Matt, on the field trial scene on the East Coast. Do y'all shoot live flyers still or hunt tests?
Yeah.
Have y'all had trouble with PETA yet out there? Have they tried to knock down on all that?
I don't even want to talk about it. I haven't heard anything, but you know how sometimes you talk about it too much, it'll stir it up. So I haven't seen anything yet, and I hope they don't.
That surprises me because that's been all these years. Because it's the same. Even back 30 years ago, I remember people talking about that. Oh, one day they're going to do something. And I just was curious if they still shot live flyers.
They actually shoot it?
Oh, they take shot fly. I thought you went and shot one time at a field trial.
Well, fuck no, I'm not a good shot, Jeff.
Well, that's true. You take it. Yeah, they shoot pheasants or ducks.
Do they have to hit it on the first shot?
Well, it helps to kill it so the damn dog can retrieve it.
I mean, you would hope.
Yeah,
you would hope.
See, they're not gonna knock on my door then.
Yeah, I mean, first, second. A lot of times they'll have two people shooting with them. So you know, because it's honestly they're not easy to hit. It's a hand thrown duck that catches wind and just trying to get the fuck away. Mm-hmm. So he's suspect to go.
They're real easy. They're real easy to hit, Matt. Don't make him feel bad. They're real simple to hit. Andy's a shitty shot.
One of the biggest things talking about these flyers that I'm worried about. A lot of these clubs can't find, like target loads, skeet loads, leads, 6s or 8s or whatever. And I'm worried that, well, there's some dogs that if we didn't have a flyer, I'd appreciate it. But that I don't know that how long we're going to be able to do it if the ammo shortage stays the way it is because they just can't find.
I didn't even think about that. What do y'all still shoot poppers like to throw the bird?
Yeah. Yep.
Can you get poppers even right now? Because that's powder. That's what the problem.
Well, they got them for the one that we were at this past weekend. But I talked to the president of the club. He's a personal friend of mine, and he said it was like finding a needle in a haystack to even get them.
Things that we took for granted. Do they? Do you use the retriever trainer still ever? It's got the 22s, the blanks that go in them.
I use it occasionally. I use that a lot if I'm doing like drill work, because drill stuff gets boring. So I'll just shoot them a bumper off of that to kind of keep their attitudes up. I have a bunch. When I buy them, I'll buy like 10,000, 22 blanks at a time because we use them in like blank pistols
Right.
too. So I'm not going to run out anytime soon, and hopefully those won't go anywhere. But yeah, those are still available. It seems.
But I tell you what, I got shot by a guy shot me with one of them one time. Woo! At about 30 yards away or 20 yards away. Oh,
really?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, a dummy?
A retriever trainer.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
bumper, like who shot you with the
Yeah,
bumper?
the little round looking football looking thing.
Holy shit!
Oh yeah, I was trying to.
That fucking thing's
Yeah,
moving
it fucking was, and I'm pretty good. I was a good athlete at the time. I thought at least I could catch it or get out of the way from it, and it was behind.
Oh, so you like this was a planned out?
Well,
thing.
we didn't plan it. We didn't say, "Hey, I want you to shoot at my fat ass."
He was fucking
He was
with the
like,
guy.
"Ha ha, you fucker! Watch this!" And pow! And he shot that fucker at me.
And what?
It's like a fucking missile coming at me. And
that some bitch is not. It's not going slow like that.
This is how stupid the guy was about it. Tony had a brand new Mustang convertible sports car, and I was standing in front of this fucking car, and he shot it at me.
Jeff thought if he stood by the Mustang, he wouldn't shoot at it.
Yeah.
He wouldn't shoot at him, but he was like,
Fuck it, I'll shoot you at you. And he shot
Fuck
at
that
me.
Mustang. There you go.
fuck that Mustang.
And I couldn't pick up it was on a white building, and I couldn't pick it up until it was like 5 yards from me, and I jumped, and that fucking thing hit me right above the dick. Oh my God, it hurt so bad.
Holy shit.
But
It's probably knocked the wind out of you.
no, it didn't. But I got the motherfucker back. But I couldn't believe I never thought. I said, ha ha, and I stood in front of Tony's car, and that fucker, and I'd done something to him. I thought I might have shot him with a BB gun or some shit.
Him and that BB gun. I'm telling
Yeah, I
you.
was going to say there's a recurring trend here with the BB gun.
Yeah.
I've shot a lot of people with that BB gun. At 20 yards, pops me in the ass with it. It's pretty funny.
It ain't fucking 20 yards in that kitchen.
Okay, 10 yards.
It ain't fucking 10 yards in that kitchen. You would stand at the middle of the bar, which is about 5 to 7 yards, and we had a poor guy. His ass crack would just be everywhere all the time. And Jeff would always be like, hey, Luke, go get some croutons from below the bar. And Luke would, and then all of a sudden, right on his ass every time.
Matt, you got to go train some dogs.
Yeah. Before he has a conniption.
I can tell.
Yeah.
He's
like, it's 10 o'clock.
He's keeping you on schedule, huh?
Well, y'all got to go.
Yeah.
You got to go train dogs.
You okay? All right.
You got to go make.
Now he's upset that I embarrassed him on.
What? We don't even know who. We don't even.
What's his fucking name? What's his fucking name?
Yeah.
Connor McNamara. Come here, buddy.
Thanks a lot, Connor.
Yeah.
We were just having a good time, and you ruined it.
Connor, is he going to get on camera now?
He's gone.
He gone.
What all?
Coming? They want to say hi.
Hi, Connor.
Connor, how you doing?
What's going on?
You kind of wormy. You're wanting to get out the door, huh?
No, I was just making Matt aware that
At-
we are going to run out of daylight at some point today.
At 10 o'clock, what's on y'all's agenda?
Train dogs.
Yeah, we had a little rain delay this morning, so a little. Yeah, a little.
What time does it get dark there at night? 7:30, 8 o'clock?
Roundabout, yeah.
And you're going to run out of daylight? How many fucking dogs you training today?
Shit, well, Matt brought, I got 24 with me.
Good gosh almighty.
15 or 16, I think.
Y'all should have started about 4 this morning then.
No kidding. Yeah, well, it was pouring, and I'm not about that life, so.
7 days a week with 24 dogs. God bless you.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So, okay, before we let you go, what all are we doing today?
We got a bunch of dogs in this test this weekend, and we're going to run them first. Because they kind of, the day before the test, they're kind of the priority. And then after that, just whatever the dogs that are on the truck that day need. So if we get out and there's some dogs having issues with marking, then we'll just throw a bunch of marking drills. If we got young dogs and they're having issues handling, then we're going to do some handling drills. Kind of like our training days are, once we throw a setup for the dogs that are at that level, everything else, it just kind of trickles down with what that specific dog needs that day. And it might change in the middle of what we're doing.
Right.
So
it's never like we don't have like a planned out calendar of, well, this is what we're doing today, this is what we're doing tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Just kind of go with the flow.
Tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
If you need my email, it's goosecreekretrievers@gmail.com. Pretty easy. On Facebook, Goose Creek Retrievers, Matt Peel, and Instagram, Goose Creek Retrievers. It's all.
And you take basically all age groups. I mean, the puppy training is you're pretty well got what you want on that, but anything above that, they can get hold
I
of
usually
you.
try to get dogs around 6-7 months old.
Okay.
Once their adult teeth are in, and we can really start doing formal training, and go from there.
Beautiful. Well, Matt, I wish we had not got cut short by that motherfucker Connor back there.
God damn it, Connor.
But y'all have stuff to do, and I understand.
No, Connor's hired a new bird boy, and we got to go pick him up.
Gotcha.
So that's what he can't drive. He can't drive.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he's not old enough to drive.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I didn't know if it was like DWIs or what it was.
No Dewey's.
All right, you guys,
All right, guys.
be safe out there. We appreciate you coming on here.
Yeah,
good
man.
luck
Thanks for having
in the
me.
test this weekend.
All right. Good luck, guys.
appreciate
God
it,
bless
guys.
you. Bye.
All right, now. Bye-bye.
Matt Peel.
Matthew Peel, Goose Creek Retrievers. He is the puppy training. It's the worst. And if you can outsource it, people, outsource it to a guy like Matt.
I'm one of them guys. So I bought a puppy. I wouldn't want to sit till it's about 9 months old.
No, he's right. He's right. He's
No. For me personally, because if I was getting a dog to hunt, I wouldn't want one till 9 months to a year, and I don't need that bonding part. But if I had a family and it was a family puppy, then yes, you bring the dog home. And he's smart on that deal. Get them loving that dog.
And because, listen, there's endless amounts of money people will spend on their dog when they love them.
Capitalism. Right there. A perfect example of a man that's making a living doing something he enjoys doing, and he's busted his ass to get to where he is, I'm sure, to become that. And that's what that is what makes America so cool. Stuff like that. Like us in the hunting business. You know, we're not all going to become world famous like you, but find something you like to do and find a way to make a living at it. It's possible.
Absolutely. I don't even know what the fuck we talked about in that episode. I was having a good time, and then Connor just came up and was like, hey, you got to stop.
Damn it, Connor. All right, let's get off here. Hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful week.
Check out all of our sponsors. Give Matt a call at Goose Creek Retrievers. We're excited to have him on board. Check out Bangtail Whiskey. They ship everywhere. Goes right to your door. Stanfield Hunting Outfitters, Gun Dog Outdoors. They've got some new bumpers out you want to check out. Pacific Calls, Boss Shot Shells, Dive Bomb Industries, Blind Grass, Lucky Duck, Dirty Duck Coffee, and the Looking Glass Duck Club.